Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today we're going to talk about why Carol left. More importantly, we're going to talk about possibly Carol embracing or becoming more like her comic counterpart. Now again, this is all open discussions. I'm not saying all of this is exactly, my predictions. I'm just saying there's something interesting here. Possibly. However, before we get into that, I think a good starting point, which would be getting right into it, but a good starting point would be a number of comments I got recently when I just mentioned that, talking about how I don't understand what Carol's doing about leaving. And yeah, that does sound misleading. I understand why the character is leaving, that it's on the nose. A blind man could see it. Not only does Carol say it in the very end of the last episode through the letter, but all this build-up over the course of at least 5 episodes, if not a little more. All this build-up. Oh, shit. Yeah. This whole season. What am I talking about? Because they started this way back in episode 2, if I remember correctly. It's out in the open. It's obvious. I know a lot of people are looking for hidden meanings and everything like that, and it's not there. In my opinion, it's just not there. I do not believe that Carol is going out there, hunting down the saviors. Daryl might be, though, and I left this out of the predictions video because I didn't want to be repetitive, but I'll bring it up now real quick. Daryl might actually be hunting down the saviors, and he might not even know Carol left. That's a strong possibility, and the reason I say that is because Tobin gives the letter to Rick, and we don't know if Tobin tells Daryl. It makes it look like Tobin gives the letter to Rick, and only those two know about it at the moment, and they go to the gates for whatever reason. They could have heard the motorcycle and then walked over there, and Rosita could have told them that he left, and that's when he said, no one else leaves, da-da-da-da. So it's a very strong possibility that Daryl is actually out hunting the saviors, and that would connect closely to Glenn telling Rosita, listen, he's going to get himself killed. Because remember, I believe Rosita is for Daryl hunting down the saviors, and Glenn is against it. He's like, listen, he needs to be with us. We all need to do this as a team because he's in over his head. So that's absolutely a possibility. If you want to discuss that, leave that down in the comment box. Maybe we'll have time to discuss it before the next episode. But back to Carol. Now again, when I said I don't understand what she's thinking and leaving, I get why she's leaving, but the reason I said that is because I'm talking about what's on the other side of the wall. I understand completely her conflict within herself inside Alexandria, but once she leaves Alexandria, this is where I don't understand what she's thinking because, and yeah, that does sound misleading because we get what she's thinking. Let's pass that because this is very important to get to this discussion, and if all of us get hung up on me saying this, probably not wording it right, the discussion's going to go sideways. We understand clearly why she's leaving. We understand the conflict here. Let's just put it out there. She does not want to kill, period. And she's not like Morgan, which that hasn't really been tested all that well. Fully. It has been tested a lot, but not fully. Carol, plain as day. She doesn't want to kill anymore, but she knows if anyone comes trying to harm them, she will kill. And that's very similar to the small scene where Maggie got cut. If you noticed, and I thought this was maybe a production error, Carol's standing there while they're fighting. She's just chilling right there. And that when the girl pulls out a knife and takes the swipe, Carol's like, no, that's it. Walks forward and puts her down. I think that is perfect visual representation of Carol's attitude. She doesn't want to kill anymore, but if there's that immediate threat, if it's a real threat right in front of someone she loves, she'll put him out, even though she doesn't want to kill anymore. So that's like the perfect scene when I look back at it in retrospect, knowing what's going on with Carol now. But the interesting debate that the interesting discussion I want to get into is, again, what's outside there? What is she thinking outside the walls of Alexandria? Because think about it. If she's leaving because she doesn't want to kill anymore, and if people are always going to attack Alexandria, there's always going to be a villain. That's what Carol's saying, because they have stuff. They have walls, they have food, they have supplies, they have da-da-da-da. So people are always going to try to attack. There's always going to be villains, and she loves them, so she's always going to fight and always going to kill to keep them safe, to protect them. She's not like Morgan to where, he has a good handle on this, where he's not killing, but he can live amongst those people, and he's comfortable there, even though he knows 100% he doesn't want to kill. Well, maybe 95%. But Carol, if she leaves outside of Alexandria, what is she thinking? She's going to run into villains that are going to try to rob or kill her. Now she's going to run into other communities, other people, other survivors. Now, even though she doesn't know them right away, she doesn't love them right away, she wouldn't have to, kill to protect them because she doesn't love them, if she sticks with them long enough, a different community or just a different group of survivors or just a different survivor she runs into, if she sticks around with them long enough, she will grow attached to them and then have to kill to protect them. So she's repeating the same cycle over and over. What I'm saying, and what I'm trying to clear up when I say I don't understand what the hell Carol's thinking, is not why she left. It's why she believes it's going to be different by leaving. Obviously, she's leaving the people, she loves, so she doesn't have to kill for them. But what about on the outside? What about other people she's going to meet? What about other people she's going to become attached to? What about protecting her own life? And this is where the comic book Carol comes in, and this is where I want to start this discussion, because this is a very interesting, in my opinion, as a comic book fan, this is a very interesting potential storyline, because comic book Carol was suicidal. She lost her shit and she became suicidal. She was ready to die. She was ready to whatever. She was ready to accept her fate and just get chomped up, because that was the fate in her opinion, in her mind at the time, in the comic. In the prison, you just basically wait around and eventually, a walker's going to get you. So comic Carol accepted that fate, and she's a little touched in the head. She's all like, you like me, whatever, and the walker bit her throat out. Spoiler warning, by the way. I'm just fucking with you. I don't give a shit if it's a spoiler. It's old. Anyway, so comic book Carol accepted her fate and then suicide by Walker, which is pretty freaking cool. Now, TV Carol also has now, in my opinion, possibly accepted her fate. How? She's going to go out there, and this is possibly suicide. She's going out there. Bad guys are going to attack her to either kill her straight up or rob her, and she's not going to kill them. Now, will she try to get away? Will she flee? Yeah, I'm sure. Why not? The self-preservation kicks in. What the hell? Why not? But the bad guys that are willing to kill her, she is not willing to kill to protect people she loves. So she's most likely not willing to kill to protect her own life. So in a twisted way, has the very strong and the one character that had so much transformation over the course of her existence in the Walking Dead, has this TV character came full circle to come right back around to almost, well, I don't want to say that, because her comic book counterpart was touched, but has this TV character come full circle to actually embrace some of her comic counterparts' characteristics, being not even characteristics. I don't want to put it that way, because I want to make this very clear to the people who don't read the comic. Comic Carol was weak. She was touched in the head. She had problems. I'm not saying that about TV Carol at all, but there's something there between a character in the comic who accepts the fate of, the world's being ripped apart by walkers, and I'm lonely, I want to be loved, let me go make love to a walker. It's not really what she did, but you get what I'm saying. So she gets chomped on by Walker, and now we have TV Carol, who's possibly committing suicide as well. And that's a very good possibility, because if she's not willing to kill, and the bad guys out there are willing to kill her, to rob her or to take her and have her tell them where her community is, Carol might actually be facing this situation where, in the end, it's a suicide mission, plain and simple. She's leaving, going into a dangerous land, unwilling to kill. And I think that comes very close to the comic counterpart, because whether you're walking up to a walker and just letting them eat you, or you're walking out of a safe zone into a hostile territory, not willing to kill, and just let the bad guys kill you, hell, it's the same thing. You know? Yeah, it's just, and yeah, given the character is touched in the head, and this is clear suicide, and this is someone who just chooses not to kill, and if the bad guys kill them, whoop-de-whoop. So if you're going to debate that, well, no, it's not the same thing. Listen, I'm not going technical here. I'm trying to show you the similarities between these two. I'm not saying comic TV Carol is anything like Comic Carol, because I respect TV Carol a shit ton more than Comic Carol. But I'm just trying to show that one theme that's in there, that suicide theme, that walking up to a walker and getting eaten, and walking out into hostile territory and getting killed, it's a suicide mission. They both are. You know what I mean? And I think that's very interesting, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And there's probably a lot we can discuss further. I mean, hell, besides Carol, there's also why are they leaving? That's another discussion. Why the hell? Listen, in the comic, Rick and the gang leave, and they meet up with Negan on the road outside of Alexandria. The first appearance doesn't happen, or the introduction doesn't happen at Alexandria. It happens out on the road. And in the comic, it was simply to go speak to the hilltop. Will that be the same in the TV show? Will it be nighttime? I believe it will. I mean, it just seems fitting. But why would our characters go on the road? Knowing the Saviors know where Alexandria is, why would Rick take a group of his fighters on the road to speak with the Hilltop? It seems like a lose-lose, because you can't take a lot, because then Alexandria can't defend itself, and you can't take a little, because then you can't defend yourself on the road if you run into the Saviors. So now we have to figure out a logical reason for Rick and gang to be on the road and get ambushed by the Saviors. Do the Saviors lure them out? That's a realistic possibility. Are they looking for Daryl? Possible, but would they take that many? Would they be out at nighttime? Are they out looking for Carol? Is there a lead there? You know what would be cool, though, speaking of Carol and being out there? If Morgan is the one who finds redemption among the fans by maybe saving or helping Carol. I love that idea. Right now, I am very in love with that idea, because think of the Wolves. The Wolves and Morgan started this change in Carol that planted the seed. To have Morgan go and rescue her in a way, and I'm not saying rescue her from a villain like in action, I'm just talking about emotionally. Give her some support, give her some guidance, that kind of rescuing. If that's possible, I do like that idea, and I do believe there's something that could happen there, but I don't know if it fits the story quite yet in that way, I mean the last 2 episodes. And also, don't forget, the season finale is in fact a 90-minute. But I got more videos to make, and I'm already behind schedule. So give me your thoughts and opinions about Carol mostly. And also, if you have any ideas on why the group would be outside of Alexandria, like let's say they decide to leave at nighttime because they're less likely to be attacked at nighttime, and they decide to go up and meet up with the Hilltop, I don't know, in the middle of the night, because they're afraid that they'll be attacked during the day, or worried. So this way they could split up the group, go to the Hilltop, get back before any action pops off. And obviously the Alexandria is being watched, so Negan knows when they leave, and then they have someone follow them, and then boom, that's why they ambushed them on the road. Shit like that could pop off. But give me your thoughts and opinions about Carol, the mid-season or the season finale, 90 minutes. Why they're leaving, thoughts on Morgan saving, helping, guiding Carol, anything like that. And Daryl, do you think he's after Carol? Right now, I really don't think he even knows. Or do you think he's hunting the Saviors for revenge? Which, I'll be honest with you, I like that idea a lot better. Thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.